I do not like what has happened.
Old men never like new things to happen.
Who are you, anyway?
John Riddell, big game hunter on the African plains. Sure you've heard of me too?
No.
Well, you clearly have some alarming gaps in your education.
Or men who hunt defenseless creatures just don't impact on history.
He's blown up a Silurian base.
He must have had orders from the ministry. The government were frightened. They just couldn't take the risk.
That's murder. They were intelligent alien beings. A whole race of them. He's just wiped them out.
You're a cyborg.
Had accident. Long ago. Secret.
No, but everything's changed now. Cyborgs are getting equal rights. They passed a law back in Stowe. You can even get married.
It's not a game, Kate. This is a scale model of war. Every war ever fought right there in front of you. Because it's always the same. When you fire that first shot, no matter how right you feel, you have no idea who's going to die. You don't know whose children are going to scream and burn. How many hearts will be broken? How many lives shattered? How much blood will spill until everybody does what they were always going to have to do from the very beginning? Sit down and talk!
Humans have flooded this planet with plastics that can't be fully broken down. So much so that you're ingesting microparticles whether you know it or not.
It's 1814. Melanin.
Yes?
Slavery is still totally a thing.
Yes, it is.
Won't it be like dangerous out there?
Definitely dangerous.
Hello. You know, it's awfully good of you to allow this visit, Director. I hadn't expected male chauvinist attitudes from you, Miss Smith. I'm sorry? I'm the director.
As soon as I'm earning, we'll get a proper place. Just you wait, Mum.
What if it never gets better?
Of course it will.
Even the bees are disappearing. You don't see bumblebees anymore.
They'll sort us out. The emergency government. They'll do something.
What if they don't?
Then we'll complain.
Who's going to listen to us? Refugees. We haven't even got a vote. We're just no one, Donna. We don't exist.
Boyfriend? Well, there has been speculation. You do fly around New York dressed in rubber with a big G on your chest.
Are we very slightly stereotyping here?
Doctor, we're not going fishing again, are we?
No. From now on, it's a healthy vegetarian diet for both of us.
Why's all the crew human?
What's that got to do with anything?
There's no aliens on board. Why?
I don't know. No real reason. They're not banned or anything.
Then where are they?
I suppose immigration's tightened up. It's had to, what with all the threats.
What threats?
I don't know. All of them, usual stuff. And the price of spacewalk doubled, so that kept the visitors away. Oh, and the government on Chavik 5's collapsed, so that lot stopped coming, you see. Just lots of little reasons, that's all.
Adding up to one great big fact, and you didn't even notice.
Would kill any one of us, so I guess she'll work on gangers just the same.
So it's interesting you refer to them as it, but you call a glorified cattle prod a she.
When the real people are safely off this island, then I'll happily talk philosophy over a pint with you, Doctor.
Little seems to have changed since my time.
Absolutely nothing, Tegan. There are still two power blocks, fingers poised to annihilate each other. Hexachromite.
What do they use that for?
Hexachromite gas. It's part of a sealing compound for undersea structures. It's lethal to marine and reptile life. I thought they would have banned it by now.
Progress doesn't seem to have solved anything.
We don't serve Negroes.
Good. Because I don't eat them.
Governor's punch-in vote tonight.
Voting. His governor calls a punching every time he wants to change his trousers. As soon as he gets ruled out, the better.
What would the next one do different?
Everything. Anything.
You sound Scottish.
I am Scottish. What's wrong with that? Scotland's got to be here somewhere.
No, they wanted their own ship.
Good for them. Nothing changes.
You've got hands, Mr. Connolly. 2 big hands. Otherwise, that your wife's job.
It's housework, isn't it?
And that's a woman's job.
Of course it is.
Mr. Connolly, what gender is the Queen?
She's a female.
And are you suggesting the Queen does the housework?
No, not at all.
Then get busy.
Don't you ever feel like weeping, Helen, eh?
Of course not, Doctor. It's unnecessary. And those that persisted had to be punished.
Why?
For the good of the majority. For the ones that wanted to be happy, who wanted to take the opportunities that I gave them.
At least it's better than being back on Earth.
Oh, I don't know. Things weren't so bad, though.
Weren't they? No room to move, polluted air, not a blade of grass left on the planet, and a government that locks you up if you think for yourself.
At least I fed you.
Joe, this is starting to sound like a shakedown.
This country can be your shop window for global sales. Unless, of course, you'd like the Treasury to take a look at how much tax all your companies pay over here.
It's been chaos back home. 40 long years. Climate, the ozone, the oil apocalypse. We almost reached extinction.
We are coming in our legions to destroy the dark power and its zombie slaves. They seized this planet long ago, enslaved your forebears and mine who remained. They are spreading the poisonous web of the animus.
The great and the good are gathering to watch the planet burn.
What for?
Fun.
Mind you, when I say the great and the good, what I mean is the rich.
What's all this about us becoming farmers?
Oh, don't you start.
Well, it's true, though. I mean, all you know about is flowers.
Mind you, that plot for perpetual instatement would make good growing land.
This place is called Tranquil Repose. I think we should leave the dead in peace, don't you?
I'm going to get on to the Minister, and I'm going to ask him to seek approval for an immediate attack with nuclear weapons.
Well, that would be tantamount to murder.
Oh, come, Doctor, you speak as if these creatures are human. We're not going to hand over the world to a lot of lizards, you know.
You can share it with them, surely.
Oh, come, really, Doctor.
His, I dare say, would PhD or PhS do as a suitable material for the machine?
Oh, yes. PHB. Biodegradable. You don't want to litter up the curse of non-destructible wasteland living on your planet now.
What's your name again?
Martha, sir. Martha Jones.
Tell me then, Jones. With hands like those, how can you tell when something's clean?
That's very funny, sir.
He's one of the most popular men on the planet. Many people call him the shopkeeper of the world. The savior, in fact, some of them.
Well, why do these men want to kill him? I mean, one minute you say he's saving the world.
For his own ends. Step by step, he's taking control of this planet. I was once a high official in World Zone Authority. Deputy security leader for North Africa and Europe. But Salamander discredited and ruined me because he realized I was beginning to get suspicious.
Ace, I never really wanted to hurt anybody. It's just you have to protect your own. Keep the outsiders out, just so that your own people can have a fair chance.
I said shut up!
Surely rockets would still be useful as an auxiliary means of transport, wouldn't they? Besides, how would man get beyond the moon?
Nobody cares anymore about exploring space. Life made... well, it was made too easy by T-Met.
I see. So you lost government backing?
I'm being generous.
Don't patronize it.
Okay.
A great big empire built on slavery.
It's not so different from your time.
Boy, I haven't got slaves.
Who do you think made your clothes?
Your sources must be wrong, because you've just put my house in Pakistan.
With the other Muslims? What? You get a fresh start.
Manish, you need to slow down.
Well, it's going to be rather difficult to explain, but I think he was referring to women's lib. And what's that? Women's liberation, Your Majesty. On Earth, it means, well, very briefly, it means that we women don't let men push us around. It's not like that on Peladon.
Thousands of years in the future, the Earth lays dying, the surface just a chemical slime. 500,000 years of industrial progress.
The ruler is always a man. You've just got to stand up for yourself. It would be different if I was a man. But I'm only a girl. Now, just a minute. There's nothing only about being a girl, Your Majesty.
Aliens and spaceships all in public. And here it is. How can they do that? They saw it. You're just not ready. You're happy to believe in something that's invisible, but if it's staring you in the face, nope, can't see it. There's a scientific explanation for that. You're thick.
I have a nanny, that's basically your answer.
Yes, of course.
He's downstairs right now.
I see.
And yes, I said he.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Is that a problem?
I'm sorry, it's just that guys like you sometimes find it funny a man being a nanny.
With respect, Miss Fletcher, there aren't too many guys like me.
There aren't too many guys like Grant, either.
We're expanding into entertainments and communications with some success. The Punishment Dome. We sell tapes of what happens there.
That is enterprising.
They show what befalls those who refuse to obey the orders by which the people of Varos must live.
Torture, blindness, execution.
All the functions of the Punishment Dome are recorded as warnings to miscreants everywhere.
But they entertain as well as instruct.
I want you to tell your men to run away.
What? Those words, run away. I want you to be famous for those exact words. I want people to call you Colonel Runaway. I want children laughing outside your door because they've found the house of Colonel Runaway. And when people come to you and ask if trying to get to meet with the people I love is in any way a good idea, I want you to tell them your name.
But at least you realize the dangers this planet of yours is in, Brigadier. The danger of it becoming one vast garbage dump inhabited only by rats.
It'll never happen, Doctor.
It's not the oil and the filth and the poisonous chemicals that are the real cause of pollution, Brigadier. It's simply greed.
That's the trouble with women. Mindless, impatient, and bossy.
You chauvinist, I heard that.
You were meant to.
I heard it too.
They want us to be grateful that 10% of people get to work. What about the other 90%? What about our futures? Because without action, next time it will be 7%, then 5, then 1.
God, what was...
It's no use, Doctor.
No answer to a straight question. Typical politician.
You mean this? Mindless.
Well, yes, but you're not a woman.
I'm not?
No, you're only a girl.
You don't expect me to carry him, do you?
Do you want the women to do the job for you?
Oh, pretty well.
No doubt that is why President Zarb decreed that Lermans should be our first alien visitors.
No good can come from fraternizing with these inferior races.
Nevertheless, Commissioner Carlick, one has one's duty to perform, no matter how unpleasant.
The British Isles can't gain access to atomic weapons without a special resolution from the UN.
No, that's never stopped him.
Exactly, given our past record. And I voted against that, thank you very much.
He is experimenting for the good of us all. He's a fine leader.
Not only is our planet divided, we are under imminent threat of invasion from our former allies, the Pandrils. Is that good leadership? Why aren't we preparing to defend ourselves? Why are we having a war at all?
It's breaking up.
The planet's alive. The animals are part of the planet. When they fight each other, they trigger explosions. They hasten the planet's destruction.
Why should they attack me with their primitive devices?
Because they're stubborn and violent, and sometimes they try to destroy things they don't understand.
They were examining rock samples. They're mineralogists. It was bound to happen.
Look, we are not mineralogists. And even if we were, why all the hostility? It's a respectable profession.
Because we don't want our planet gutted.
I think you'd better let us go.
We do not release prisoners. We are the masters of the earth.
Not for long.
Obey us or die.
Die? And just who are you to condemn us to death, hmm?
That's what I don't get. They invade somewhere, take control. Why go to the trouble of changing the past?
However bad the situation is, if people think that's how it's always been, they put up with it. It's 90% of the job done.
Once your big mining combines move in, you reduce it to a galactic slag heap.
Haven't you got laws to deal with this kind of thing?
Yes, there are laws. We can complain to Earth's government just like all the others. By the time I get a final decision, the planet's useless.
Surely you don't expect all the people to welcome you with open arms?
We have already conquered Earth.
Conquered the Earth? You poor, pathetic creatures, don't you realize, before you attempt to conquer the Earth, you will have to destroy all living matter.
She's a murderer.
Enjoying your bacon sandwich?
Why?
Because it had a mummy and a daddy. Go tell a pig about your moral high ground.
I've heard Davros say there is no intelligent life on other planets. So either he is wrong or you are lying.
We are not lying.
And Davros is never wrong about anything.
Then he must be exceptional. Even I am occasionally wrong about some things. Who is this Davros?
Our greatest scientist.
Anytime after you're 16, you're allowed to see the film and make your choice. And then once every 5 years.
And once every 5 years, everyone chooses to forget what they've learned. Democracy in action.
Calm, be calm. Someone as pretty as you shouldn't be all of a fluster.
I'm intensely flattered you're familiar with my work, Mrs. Doctor.
Just Doctor. It's fine.
He might still be alive.
No. He's had it. Whereas you, my pretty, are very much with us. I like pretty things, and you are very pretty, aren't you?
Get your hands off me, you creep!
This person you want to marry. Black.
Yes.
I know what people think of me, but perhaps I'm a little more liberal.
He is.
I think the moon is far enough for now. Don't you, Mr. Delaware?
I figured it might be.
Skiving off. Stupid things. And burnt out when Ashes first. White kids firebombed it. I didn't care anymore.
I think we cared a lot, eh?
They're saying that the president's got this grand plan. He's going to save the world with some big financial scheme. Whatever it is, but it won't reach you and me.
Have you noticed how people's intellectual curiosity declines sharply the moment they start waving guns about?
Can you make it work?
Yes! You just hold the gun steady. Don't tax your mind.
What do you say, Darnay?
I have no opinions on the matter.
How unusual.
Why should we suffer for the sake of human beings?
I heard in India there's over 10 million gangers.
We can reach out, inspire them to rise up.
Revolution. Look, I just want to be left to live in peace.
Where is the girl now? I have given her the drugs and she has returned to the city.
It would have been better if you'd given it to a man instead of a girl.
But I had no chance. They're prisoners in the city.
Pakistan is somewhere for Muslims if they want to go.
I'm not saying you have to go, but Pakistan is being created for Muslims. Hindus have India, we both feel safe.
Don't reduce it to that, brother. It's not that simple.
But I get you have a heart.
Those two Tellurians, have you seen them before?
Oh, really? Sure. I mean, they all look so much alike.
I
didn't even notice. Among all the varied wonders of the universe, there's nothing so firmly clapshot as the military mind.
The story is not acceptable. This is a very difficult, very delicate position. We must adjust the truth.
In what way, Cardinal?
In a way that will maintain public confidence in the Time Lords and their leadership.
Do you mind? Could you stand back a bit?
Sorry, have I done something wrong?
You're carrying a gun. I don't like people with guns hanging around me, all right?
If you insist.
The Stevens process must be based on Bateson's polymerization. And that means thousands of gallons of waste. A thick sludge you can't break down in any way, like a liquid plastic. And what properties that would have, heaven alone knows.
It can't be.
How did Earth end up like this?
Good warnings from every scientist alive. Global warming. Huh? The food chain collapses, mass migration and war.
This way, ladies, gentlemen, others.
Now, there cannot be a creature on the planet that humans do not kill and eat. Many beasts are bred especially for table. They are force-fed to improve the flesh, and penned in small confined quarters to fatten more rapidly.
1941. Right now, not very far from here, the German war machine is rolling up the map of Europe. Country after country falling like dominoes. Nothing can stop it. Nothing. Until one tiny, damp little island says, no. No. Not here. A mouse in front of a lion. You're amazing, the lot of you.
You'll all forget it ever happened.
We're not going to forget an overnight forest.
You forgot the last time. You remembered the fear, and you put it into fairy stories. The human superpower, forgetting. If you remembered how things felt, you'd have stopped having wars.
All of them were seen with Salamander, or a man known as his deputy, shortly before their deaths.
All of them were replaced by men known to be in Salamander's power.
Known by who? By me, Doctor. Well, why don't you tell the authorities, the police or whatever? Because I'm discredited, don't you see? Because Salamander is so popular, and also because the man that took my place, a man named Donald Bruce, has since risen to become overall security chief.
They are based on fear, and fear breeds hatred and war. I shall speak to them peacefully. They'll see that I'm unarmed. There's no better argument against war than that.
Help me to realize my dream. I know what is best for my people. I do not trust these aliens. Well, then trust me. I tell you, I know their minds. I will not let them lead you into a trap. But their motives are open and honest. To them, Paladin, we are merely savages. Savages to be tamed. They despise and distrust us.
Certainly not. Blue is the official colour of mourning on Necros. And women's legs are to be covered at all times.
Sounds positively feudal.
It's polite, not to say safer, to honour local customs. You should know that by now.
Labour camps. That's what they called them last time.
What do you mean?
Do you remember my briefing, Shona?
Yeah. Well, no. I remember some of it.
Some of it?
How much?
Till he put his hand on my knee, and then I was just grossing.
It was intended as a comfort.
For whom?
Then use it on the invaders.
And kill them.
Why not? They're about to start a war that will destroy everyone on Earth.
I sometimes wonder why I like the people of this miserable planet so much.
In the end, we all want the same thing. An ordered society, with everyone happy, well-fed.
Global chemicals taking all the profits.
What's best for global chemicals is best for the world, is best for you.
Such as a little touch of brainwashing.
Freedom from fear, freedom from pain.
Freedom from freedom.
Well, I was on my way to this gay gypsy bar mitzvah for the disabled when I suddenly thought, gosh, the Third Reich's a bit rubbish. I think I'll kill the Führer. Who's with me?
In your time, humanity's busy arguing over the washing up while the house burns down. Unless people face facts and change, catastrophe is coming.
Perhaps we've landed in a world of madmen.
They're human beings, if that's what you mean, indulging their favorite pastime of trying to destroy each other.
I can believe that.
You're making Goth into a hero?
If heroes don't exist, it is necessary to invent them. Good for public morale.
And the Doctor's part in all this?
Best forgotten. Of course, Doctor, the charge against you will be dropped.
How come?
Conditional on your leaving Gallifrey tonight.
Somehow, Cardinal, I don't want to stay.
Good.
And I don't want these girls coming along either.
What?
It's too dangerous.
Professor?
And since it's my map...
Right. You male chauvinist bilge bag. Just you wait.
This living plastic, what's it got against us?
Nothing. It loves you. You've got such a good planet. Lots of smoke and oil, plenty of toxins and dioxins in the air. Perfect.
More comfortable than I feel.
This thing I'm wearing's too tight.
You eat too much.
Hardly. Just giving my lunch to the fish.
I've warned you about feeding animals.
That was my lunch. When's the last time I ate any more of your nut roast rolls?
You believe in free will. Your whole thing is you made me write a 3,000-word essay on free will.
Yes, well, I mean, you had free will, and look at what you did with it. Worse than that, you had history. History was saying to you, look, I've got some examples of fascism here for you to look at. No? Fundamentalism? No? Oh, okay, you carry on.
What's he doing? I mean, that's the trouble with history, never anything like the books.
Then before you leave, you can assist Coordinator Engin to compile a new biog of him. It doesn't have to be entirely accurate.
Like Time Lord history.
A few facts, Coordinator, will lend it verisimilitude. We cannot make the Master into a public enemy if there is no data on him.
After all, he and the rest of the doom merchants never stopped telling us that we're using up the world's supply of oil. We can now produce 25% more petrol and diesel fuel from a given quantity of crude oil. If that isn't conservation, I don't know what is.
Really? You're on telly? You and your little band. Which, by the way, is ticking every demographic box, so congratulations on that.
It's like one of those things, those glass cases that people keep colonies of ants in.
Do you mean that Major Dalian and all those people on the ship are in a sort of a peep show?
That's right, Joe. And you and I are inside its works.
And outside there are people and creatures just looking at us for kicks.
Very probably.
If you keep sitting there, we're all going to have to move. If white folks need seats, by law, I have to give mine up. This middle section's only for coloreds if white folk don't need it.
They must be evil and horrible.
Well, not necessarily, Joe. Thoughtless, maybe.
Thoughtless?
Well, haven't you ever been to the zoo? You never kept goldfish in a bowl?
Well, yes, but that's slightly different. We're not animals.
We are to those creatures up there, Joe.
But the work has got to be finished tonight.
What are you doing, trying to kill us?
We're flat out up here, come on! Don't argue with me!
Sir, men can't work up there at night. It's freezing. Your hands go numb, you lose your grip, you fall.
You don't get it. If you won't work, I can replace you like that.
Truth is a stranger to the Earthlings.
If you'll excuse me, politics do not come into my realm of influence. Then they should.
They give no signals. It's rather like being surrounded by walking, talking dead men. Causes identity crisis, paranoia, sometimes even personality disintegration, robophobia.
You, what are you doing in the front line? No place for young ladies.
Well, what about her?
This lady's a WVR. She's here on duty.
The Zabi are not an intelligent species, but they were essential to the life pattern here. We lived at peace with them until they were made militant by the dark power. We had no weapons. We had not had the need.
You just take one capsule once a day for 3 weeks, and the fat, as they say...
The fat just walks away.
If they're good, then why are we chopping them down?
The government is sending out defoliating teams. They're dropping chemicals on them right now.
What is it with you people? You hear voices, you want to shut them up. The trees come to save you. You want to chop them down.
All over the world, fools are poised, ready to let death fly. Machines of death, Morgaine, are screaming from above. A blight brighter than the sun. Not a war between armies, nor a war between nations, but just death.
How much are they paying you?
Come, Doctor. Gentlemen don't discuss money.
Nonsense. Gentlemen never talk about anything else. Now listen to me.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Shoot them!
We're not gonna shoot them!
What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with this country? Why don't you do what normal people do? Get a gun, shoot things like a civilized person.
Hello, I'm the thin one. This is my husband. He's the fat one.
Don't you have names?
We're the thin, fat, gay, married Anglican Marines. Why would we need names as well?
The child looks up into the sky. His eyes turn to cinders. No more tears, only ashes. Is this honor? Is this war? Are these the weapons we would use?
Now return to your work and play with fresh heart and renewed energy.
They got that bloke all over the place like a blinking politician.
He's our controller. We're always pleased to see him. He brings us encouragement.
Oh, he's not a politician then.
Greyhound 40, report. Greyhound 40, report.
It wasn't Greyhound 40, his name was Ross. Now listen to me.
And get them out of there!
Human, what's icon?
I'll answer that question one day. And do you know when that day will be? The day nobody cares about the answer. Gotcha.
I should think that when man first discovered fire, there were those who were equally appalled and wanted it suppressed. If they'd prevailed, the human race would still be cowering in caves.
How did you get control of humanity?
A normal business operation. The company was looking for property in this sector. Earth was running down, its people dying. We made a deal.
Go.
Yes, we moved them all to Mars. After our engineers had made that planet habitable for their species.
And then taxed the life out of them.
Their planet's 3 light years away. They invaded us without warning. Ceros was a place of peace. And knowledge and the wisdom of our elders made us free from want.
Why didn't you fight back?
Their weapons were far superior to ours. We had planned for peace and they for war.
Here's your own phrase. That's all academic now.
If you were rational, you'd realize how pointless this is. We can't unlearn knowledge. You're no illiterate. How often has a great advance produced this reaction? Think of Galileo.
What's the Earth like now?
Bit full, but you see the Empire stretches out across 3 galaxies.
But look at us. We're everywhere. Is that good or bad though? I mean, are we like explorers or more like a virus?
Sometimes I wonder.
Create a climate of fear, and it's easy to keep the borders closed. It's just a matter of emphasis. The right word in the right broadcast repeated often enough can destabilize an economy, invent an enemy, change a vote.
They're full of plastic.
Once plastic gets in the ocean, birds mistake it for food. I've seen hatchlings regurgitate 200 individual pieces.
Now look, young lady, make yourself useful. This young fellow looks as though he needs some refreshment, and I know that Susan and I do too.
Hang on a minute.
Tegan, humour him.
If Hannah's in a Dalek prison camp, tell me, why aren't you?
I escaped.
No. Nobody escapes the Dalek camps.
This milkshake isn't adequately shaken. That's how the can this is. It's got nuts in it. It's supposed to have nuts in it. That's the ice cream. But we don't want nuts in it. Shake it some more. Shake it yourself. You heard. I've never thrown something. But you haven't checked it over your head before either.
You know, it's like a turning point. Humans have learned that they can overthrow dictators and stuff. They just have to band together.
Well, it's not quite as simple as that. The monks have erased themselves. Humanity is doomed to never learn from its mistakes.
Well, I guess that's part of our charm.
No, it's really quite annoying.
As I understand it then, Mr. Short, you advocate rule by a sort of self-appointed elite.
It's only logical. Superior types should rule. They're the best equipped for it.
And the inferior types?
They be guided, helped, kept away from harmful ideas and influences.
You've seen where this efficiency of yours leads. Wholesale pollution of the countryside. Devilish creatures spawned by the filthy byproducts of your technology. Men walking around like brainless vegetables.
The doctor is dangerous!
Of course it's dangerous! We could be blown to pieces at any minute!
But no one could have lived through this!
Then stay behind! This is work for heroes, not for faint-hearted girls!
Sometimes men like you make me wonder why I bother with humanity.
This device of his, is it very powerful?
Well, I should say roughly equal to a 15-megaton bomb.
Really? Well, the research boys will be glad to get their hands on this.
Too late, Brigadier. I've boiled out the contents. The weapons that you have on Earth are quite nasty enough as it is.
I wouldn't be that age again if you paid me, would you?
I can't remember, it's too long ago.
What a world to be young again in, eh? I reckon the only thing you can do is to teach them to fight. That way they'll fight or go under.
Your own attire, is it really suitable?
Trousers? Well, surely that's a matter for me to decide.
As things are at the moment, it is. But in a more rationally ordered society.
I would wear what you thought was good for me.
While you have been content merely to observe the evil in the galaxy, I have been fighting against it.
It is not we who are on trial here, Doctor. It is you.
No, of course you're above criticism, aren't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, and variations thereupon, welcome on board the Crusader 50.
So, no one could have lived through it, eh? Well, here's one who did. You would have left one of your own kind to die.
I suppose this must be the manservant. Nasty-looking customer. That must be a foreigner.
Neanderthal.
Gypsy blood, I can see it in him. Lazy workers. What's this one playing up over? Oh, beg your pardon.
He's mesmerized.
No self-control in these Mediterraneans. Too excitable. Nasty tempers, too.
Yes, especially when roused.
Concentration of artillery there. Yes, that should reach you.
We'll use artillery on an ambulance, sir.
That ambulance is in enemy hands, Ransom.
But there are 2 women on board.
Who let this creature in here? On your feet, girl! In the presence of your betters.
The whole tribe drove Cal away with the stones. The whole tribe can collect more fruit than one. The whole tribe can kill a beast where one of the tribe would die.
Not soon enough, though.
I didn't kill him, ask this thing!
You'll have to do better than that. Who are you?
Leela, who are you?
Why did you kill him?
You try that again and I'll cripple you.
Have you any idea what happens to people who've been involved in a nuclear war?
Have you? Of course I haven't. I've been down here.
Those that are lucky enough to escape the annihilation have their bodies eaten away by radiation poisoning. They're deformed in mind and body.
But this newspaper.
They have a kind of society, but it's evil, corrupt.
As my future wife, I could hardly do anything else.
Then cure her of her stubbornness. She has a foolish commitment to a way of life that is past.
I hope that she will soon believe as I do.
I'm pleased to hear it. Young noble women seem to have so much free will nowadays.
Smiling while my friends disappeared. Wearing this uniform and smiling and trying to pretend I'm something I'm not. Trying to pretend that I'm happy.
How many people live here?
Any one time, hundreds, no place else to go. But I will say this about Hooverville. We are a truly equal society. Black, white, all the same. All starving.
Honestly, if I was still a bloke, I could get on with the job and not have to waste time defending myself.
Steady on her, girl, steady on her.
Harry,
Yes, I'm here.
call me old girl again. And I'll spit in your eye.
Welcome back, Sarah Jane.
The buses are coming, I promise. Please, just wait for the bus. You don't tell me what to do, boy. Oh, man, this place.
I've got the RAF to lay on a rocket strike. In a few hours' time, that coach will be a pile of scrap iron.
The military mind at its most scintillating. Faced with a problem, they blasted off the face of the earth.
And what about the natural disasters we've been organizing? The volcanoes, earthquakes?
Swan, they're not fit to live.
You're murdering them.
It's not murder!
Tell them the truth. You don't need to. It's suddenly become obvious.
can't get a body back from here because those who make the law don't want it. He's right. For a drug, he's not so stupid.
I don't understand.
There isn't room for them. The idea of this place just doesn't work.
When you find something brand new in the world, something you've never seen before, what's the next thing you look for?
A grenade.
A prophet. That's Victorian values for you.
Yes, but why destroy without any apparent thought or reason? That's what I don't understand.
Oh, there's a reason.
What?
A dislike for the unlike.
I don't follow you.
They're afraid of you because you're different from them.
Oh, just like those Yankees to treat a lady like this.
Thank you.
Oh, that's my pleasure, ma'am.
Ordinary people who've lived here all their lives, whipped into a frenzy to be part of a mob. There's nothing worse than when normal people lose their minds.
What's happened? Are you all right?
We're all right now. We're fighting together now.
War, a game played by politicians. We were just pawns in the game, but the pawns are fighting together now.
Right. That's the only planet in the solar system named after a woman.
Good for her.
Monsters created by the chemical weapons used in the first century of this war. They were banished into the wastelands, where they live and scavenge like animals.
In other words, genetically wounded.
We must keep the Khaled race pure.
That's why the Slovene went for spectacle. They want the whole world panicking, because you lot, you get scared, you lash out.
They release the defense codes.
And the Slovene go nuclear.
But why?
Regency England. A bit more black than they show in the movies.
So was Jesus. History's a whitewash.
We gave you pieces of plastic and circuitry and games. And you handed us, me, my company, total access to your lives.
I hope I keep the strength to make the right decision.
I voted for this. Why would I do that?
The universe is at war, Doctor. Name one planet whose history is not littered with atrocities and ambition for empire. It is a universal way of life, which I do not accept.
Yeah, kill him first, surely.
It works better on a live animal.
It looks very painful.
That's simply a nervous reflex. I've been butchering all my life. Primitive creatures don't feel pain in the way that we would.
So you turned them loose. Now, where do you make him for, boy?
Look, I ain't gonna tell you nothing.
Why? I was happy. Like this, I was happy. I understand. I can't change. I can't hide.
Let us help you.
No. Not truth or consequences.
But you must teach them to respect you. Show them some strength.
But you really believe we ought to fight?
Yes, I think it may have to come to that.
You understand as little about us as the Daleks do.
Another functionary has dared to ascend to the higher level.
One witnessed the event. One cannot understand why they do it. But then one is not a functionary.
It is a growing problem.
What was the reason? Reason? It was haywire. I wouldn't let a robot work on me, not for all the Zelenite in this ship.
This is it, Johnson.
A little respect for the wheelchair, please, Commander. He's an invalid.
I'm not an invalid. I'm a cripple. I'm also a genius, so shut up the pair of you.
Think of it. Plastic all over the world. Every artificial thing waiting to come alive. The shop window dummies, the phones, the wires, the cables.
The breast implants.
When you start this new world, this world of human and half, remember that. Make the foundation of this society a man who never would.
We've got about $1 trillion worth of mining equipment here. We're not just going to abandon it. What if it all goes pear-shaped? It's not them that lose a bonus.
It's okay, I understand. You're an idiot.
We told you, of course your lives are private. Of course your data's safe. And you believed us. You kept clicking agree.
The colony shouldn't be here. My corporation has been assigned the mineral rights on this planet.
I'm not part of your fight. I never wanted to fight anyone. I just wanted to live here. Why can't I just live? We are your son.
This Lieutenant Carstairs is a 1917 British Army officer who, for some time after his initial processing, believed himself to be fighting for his country. However, as I shall now demonstrate, the process has completely lapsed and he is fully conscious of his surroundings.
But the doctor's down there!
No place for the fair sex, my dear.
I must go!
Best place in a lifeboat, the pair of you.
I'm not leaving here!
Well, we won't use one of the customs of your planet.
What's that?
Ladies first.
Well, I should hope not.
Our preliminary survey indicates a very rich concentration of duralinium. You know how the Earth needs that mineral.
Earth or your corporation's profits?
What's good for IMC is good for Earth.
We're sort of police.
Speak for yourself.
What? Well, you can deal with big green Martians and rocket ships, but you can't deal with us being the police.
No. It's just such a fanciful notion. A woman in the police force.
Listen, yeah? I'm gonna make allowances for your Victorian attitudes because, well, you actually are Victorian.
There are a lot of important people. Just imagine what will happen if they go. They'd be in direct competition with those now holding power. Those in prison can make the law. Isn't there? It's the fact that you'll be hanged.
This is in the foreign storage locker.
You'll have to abort this one.
Wouldn't lose this storm. We're almost onto it.
Paul's talking about murder, Commander.
I'm talking about money.
You have no choice.
See those bulbs? There's an invisible ray. Break it, and it works the meter.
Salamander.
He built it. He always uses it when he comes down. Yes, I know. To try and convince you for some reason or other that there's radiation above ground. There is. The war. War? What war?
Professor, what's wrong with the vicar?
No girls. Leave her here.
What? You're beginning to aggravate me.
Don't antagonize an ace. You better stay here.
Professor.
Only for a short time. War is coming. In foreign fields, war of the whole wide world, with all your boys falling down in the mud. Do you think they will thank the man who taught them it was glorious?
Don't you forget, boy, I've been a soldier.
We will alleviate pressure on police and security staff, and all without draining the public purse.
There are 100,000 million people back on Earth, and they desperately need all the minerals we can find.
What those people need, my dear sir, are new worlds to live in like this one. Worlds where they can live like human beings, not battery hens.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? We can't afford to take prisoners. Oh, no, you don't.
We've lived together for decades. Hindu, Muslim, and Sikh. And now we're being told our differences are more important than what unites us. Like we learned nothing in the war.
Now you can go a whole month without sleep. A month? All the chemical benefits of rest, but freeing up the nights to continue working. To get the edge on your competitor. To turn that extra profit.
That's insane. That's horrible.
You will be responsible for more deaths unless you help these people.
The only interest we have in the Thals is their total extermination.
What she said profaned the holy purpose of the tribe of Savatim.
Holy purpose? To die in another useless attack? There is no Xenon!
Blasphemy!
Okay, so, ladies, gentlemen, multi-sex, undecided or robot. Your name's Trepper, yeah? Is that Polish? Listen, we're not checking passports, it's not about that, but did you come across from Poland just to work?
I came to do my job.
How many hours a day do you work?
24.
You work 24 hours a day?
It's murder.
It's life. The farmer tends his flock like a loving parent.
The abattoir is not a contradiction.
No one loves cattle more than Burger King.
Trust in our leaders is at an all-time low. Civil unrest is growing. Security budgets are falling. Our police forces are under pressure.
Exactly how far you intend to go, Lois?
Oh, I don't know. There's lots of work to be done in the garden. Roll the grass.
What about supper?
Oh, that's a good idea. Have something really delicious ready for us when we get home, okay?
You only go with the lawnmower, Ansley?
The latest thinking is that the latest outbreak of violence among the functionaries is caused through lack of amusement.
No, more anti-productive legislation.
Where will it end?
One can see where it will end, Orham. Ultimately, the functionaries would take over.
And what are these, Your Majesty?
No, there must be a class system. It is absolutely essential for good government. Now, these are second-class citizens. You could call them assisters.
Or slaves.
If you will, girl, it is, however, a very emotive word.
The end point of capitalism. Bottom line, where human life has no value at all. We're fighting an algorithm. A spreadsheet. Like every worker everywhere. We're fighting the suits.
Look, you've got to get away from here. I could help you.
Do you honestly think I could possibly be interested in you? I have the pick of the women here. I would rather run away with my mother than own a fawning little creep like you.
Only those foolish enough to follow Restak.
Haldane, are you sure about this?
My priority is my race's survival. The Earth isn't ready for us to return yet.
No,
10 minutes, Doctor.
but maybe it should be.
That's some sort of flavored algae. I haven't seen any livestock yet.
That's good, isn't it?
In the future, we don't eat living things, we eat algae.
It's all very well to make these demands, but you already take most of the profits my factories make.
I'm creating the product you manufacture. I have a right to the money.
I'm aware of that, great healer.
Is it your snuff box?
Please don't get it undressed.
Where's undressed?
Excuse my young friend, she comes from a less civilized clime.
What do you want me to do? Wrap up in a curtain?
Be quite noble, savage.
What? Sorry. Yeah, I wasn't expecting.
Hello. Great, we rescued a racist.
I need more money. I cannot complete my researches without it.
We'll do our best for you. I'm sure Vogel can engage in a little creative accountancy on your behalf. Please accept my apologies.
I would sooner accept your money.
There are phantoms in the beyond.
Feast fire stories.
Well, there's something there.
Then I'll face it. I can take care of myself.
Come on, haven't we got enough trouble without you two fighting each other?
Well, I go. Now, well, come on then. But not you, Polly. This is men's work.
I must protest.
Whatever for?
A lady at the graveside is debatable enough, but your apparel.
Is it too exciting?
You're disgracing the ceremony, just like a harlot.
Oh, and you should know, Mr. Cole.
Ooh, you look rough. Or is that choice? Don't mean to conversion shame you.
Polly! I told you to stay behind.
I'm coming with you.
You maybe go hurt and I go back.
I'm coming with you, and that's flat. You still need someone to look after
Look, I don't
you.
need everything. Oh, look, there's no time for arguing. If you're coming, come on then.
Tomorrow the atmosphere will be bombarded by the radiation from our nuclear reactors.
Why are you doing this?
That's sheer murder.
Now, extermination.
Hey, look, can't I do that for you? Independent sort of bird, isn't she?
Leave her, Harry.
But she's...
There's nothing you can do. She knows what she's doing.
Your company's telling the world that the situation is over. But you need to get in there and tell them that the situation's only just begun. Make them understand what they're doing to the flesh. Make them stop.
I don't like men that way.
All right, yeah, I got it. You like Vitus then?
What?
He only likes men.
Some men.
I don't think it's narrow-minded. I think it's fine. You know what you like.
And you like both?
I'm just ordinary, you know, like men and women.
Well, isn't this all very modern?
Dickon, remember, people are good. In their bones, truly good.
Don't hate them, will you?
How can I hate them? I'm one of them now.
Yeah, and just remember, people die. Don't let that be in vain. Make what you say in that room count.
Only the children were spared to work.
How horrible.
We are a slave race. When we grow older, we are taken to other planets. Sita, Darko, and myself are due to go. But that is why we hide here and plan.
Get up! It is your fault! All of you! You voted Saxon! You did this!
That wasn't necessary. Who licensed you to slaughter people? No more Janus thorns, you understand? Ever.
Tell me about your plan to assassinate Queen Victoria.
You what?
Who have you been talking to? Myself, mostly. The British Empire's an anarchic mess. There's no clear director for the throne.
Where are we anyway?
We're on the motorway.
What's that then, fog?
It's exhaust fumes. We're going out to Brooklyn. Everyone says, yeah, it's so much cleaner.
Is it me or are they pretty creepy? It ain't you.
Why you two? That's robophobic. Some of my best friends are robots.
You'll be right at home here then.
A lot of people died. It's like a forest fire, though, isn't it? The objective is to save the great trees, not the brushwood. Am I right?
It wasn't a fire, those weren't trees, those were people.
They were community payback scumbags. I wouldn't lose any sleep.
I bet you won't.
A device for extracting energy from the sea. Something your planet had the technology to do long before its fossil fuels ran out, but they didn't bother.
No discipline. Result? Confusion. Wastage. I can provide a new order. Wealth. Prosperity.
Confusion, wastage, tyranny, bomb toast. Till all the atlas is pink.
Some of my best friends are bluish.
I could show you a new life. How? Davros has created a demand for synthetic protein. If you cease to fulfill that demand, those planets will die. Now, the weak, grows almost anywhere, when refined fat produces protein.
But there don't seem to be many Moroks. Surely you must outnumber them.
It is unpleasant to admit, but our opposition is weak and unarmed. But a very small army can easily keep control.
But you're supposed to be planning a revolution.
Right, we're moving.
Right, I'm there. I'm on it. 20 guards. We're having a good day.
I was only expressing solidarity, supremacy. My apologies.
I don't need solidarity from a grunt.
It's disgusting. Making people into bloody drones. I've said it before, and colonizing our sleep is nothing sacred.
We spend a third of our lives asleep, and time is money.
Kidnappers? Not really. No, you're idiots. You're having a baby and you're wearing that. Ooh. Not anymore.
You want to create chaos. Melt the ice. Shift the current. Change the pressure until the whole Earth is flooded.
We're reclaiming what was ours.
What is it?
The Pyramid of the Rings of Akaten. It's a holy site for the sun singers of Akhet.
The who of what?
7 worlds, orbiting the same star, all of them sharing the belief that life in the universe originated here, on that planet.
Oh, life?
In the universe.
Did it?
Well, it's what they believe. It's a nice story.
I've been waiting for him for generations. He is my truth. You are the creators. Look what you can do. You build. But he made you destroyers. That's no god. I'm sorry.
The government has declared a state of emergency. People are being told to stay away from all cars with Atmos devices attached.
The gas appears to be toxic. We are warning anyone and everyone. Stay away from the cars. Repeat, stay away from your cars.
Oh, I can't wait for you to make up your mind.
Oh, wait for me.
No, Lady Jennifer, I don't think you should come.
Because I'm a woman.
Yeah, no. Well, in a way, yes.
That settles it, and I'm certainly coming. You can't go alone.
Oh, you're right, miss, he can't.
What's the point? Who is your delicious blackamoor lady?
What did you say?
Oops. Isn't that a word we use nowadays? An Ethiop girl, a Suave, a Queen of Africa.
Can't believe it.
Political correctness gone mad.